We've always believed that Pokémon are just natural creatures, living in harmony with trainers. But what if I told you that's a lie? What if Pokémon, at least in Kanto, were created by humans? And not just any humans, but Silph, the massive corporation that controls Pokémon technology. Today, we're diving into a theory that changes everything we thought we knew about Pokémon. Silph Company is the biggest company in Kanto, controlling almost everything related to Pokémon. They make Pokeballs, TMs, technical devices, and even the Master Ball, a device capable of catching any Pokémon instantly. But let's ask the real question. How does a company make something that controls Pokémon? Unless they had a hand in creating them. If they were just making tools for trainers, that's one thing. But we already know that genetic experimentation exists in Kanto, because of Mewtwo. And where did Team Rocket attack? Silph Company, what were they after? Technology related to Pokémon. But what if it wasn't just about controlling Pokémon? What if it was about their origin? Now, let's think about this. Where do Pokémon come from? The Pokédex tells us some of them evolved over time, but that doesn't explain why Kanto Pokémon feel so controlled. Almost all of them can fit into Pokeballs. Almost all of them follow a level-up system. And every single one has a data entry. What if that's because they were designed to? We already know that humans in Kanto can create Pokémon. Porygon is 100% artificial, Mewtwo was genetically engineered, and Ditto even shares Mew's DNA. But what if this wasn't just limited to a few Pokémon? What if every Pokémon in Kanto was made in a lab? This leads us to a huge question. If a Pokémon in Kanto were created, then what about the other regions? Are places like Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh part of a natural world? Or is Kanto just a controlled experiment within the greater Pokémon universe? The Sinnoh region tells us that Pokémon always existed, created by Arceus. But if that's true, why does Kanto feel so industrial? Could it be that the Kanto of our world is just a simulation or an artificially created space, while the Pokémon world exists separately as a real, living universe? Maybe Kanto isn't just the first region, it's the test region. And everything we know about Pokémon might just be part of the experiment. Of course, there's another way to look at this. Maybe Silph Company isn't creating Pokémon, maybe they're just controlling them. After all, Pokémon do have natural ecosystems. There are fossils, legends, and wild habitats that wouldn't make sense if Pokémon were all artificial. And if Kanto was man-made, why do Pokémon in other regions follow the same rules? Maybe humans didn't create Pokémon, but they did find a way to manipulate them. So, what do you think? Did Silph Company secretly create all the Pokémon in Kanto? Is the Pokémon world a real, living universe separate from ours? Or is the truth something even bigger? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you love deep Pokémon theories, be sure to like and subscribe for more. What if I told you that Pokémon Generation 1 isn't just the first Pokémon region, but the core of the entire Pokémon universe? A universe where everything branches out from Kanto, where Red is the ultimate trainer across dimensions, and where the mysterious Missing No holds a secret about Pokémon history. Let's break it all down. First, let's talk about recurring characters. Red, the original trainer, appears in multiple games across different generations. In Gold, Silver, and Crystal, we battle him on Mount Silver. In Sun and Moon, he's running the battle tree. Even in remakes and alternate timelines, Red always comes back. Why? Because Gen 1 is the foundation of the Pokémon universe. Then there's Professor Oak. He's not just a Kanto scientist, he's referenced everywhere. His cousin, Samson Oak, appears in Alola. His research influences the first ever Pokédex in Legends, Arceus. No other professor gets this much attention. And of course, Team Rocket. Unlike other villain teams, Team Rocket doesn't just disappear. They show up in Johto, they inspire villains like Team Galactic, and in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, They even form an interdimensional super team, Rainbow Rocket. Now, let's talk about the Pokémon themselves. Have you noticed how many times Gen 1 Pokémon get new evolutions, forms, and mechanics? Just look at Mega Evolution. Charizard and Mewtwo are the only Pokémon with 2 Mega Evolutions. Then we got regional forms, Alolan Muk, Galarian Weezing, Hisuian Voltorb, all from Gen 1. And even when Gen 4 introduced new evolutions, many were from Kanto, Electivire, Magmortar, Rhyperior. It's like Game Freak keeps returning to Kanto as the baseline. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Missing No. This glitch Pokémon only exists in Gen 1, and it might actually be a hint that Kanto is the core Pokémon universe. Some theories say Missing No represents forgotten Pokémon, Pokémon that were supposed to exist but got erased in Sun and Moon. When you delete Pokémon from the PC, the game references a corrupted Pokémon similar to Missing No. Could this mean that Pokémon outside of Gen 1 are unstable in the core universe? Are there glitches in the timeline? It makes you wonder. Of course, we have to consider the other side. If Kanto is the core universe, why does Legends Arceus focus on Sin instead? Arceus is literally the god of Pokémon. Wouldn't that make Sinnoh more important? Then there's the multiverse theory. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and in Ultra Sun and Moon, we see that Pokémon exists in multiple timelines. Maybe Kanto is just the most important one, but not the only one. So, is Gen 1 the core Pokémon universe? The evidence is strong. Kanto Pokémon get the most love, Red appears across regions, and Missing No might even be a glitch in reality. But with alternate timelines and Pokémon history dating back to Sinnoh, there's still room for debate. What do you think? Is Kanto the true center of the Pokémon world, or is it just nostalgia making us think that? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you love deep Pokémon theories, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, every great trainer starts their journey in Kanto. Or do they?